a pleasant day. We are the Group 1 presenting the topic in Unit 1, Foundation of Curriculum Development in the Philippines, such as historical foundation, philosophical, psychological foundation, and social foundation, and also the characteristic of a good curriculum. The presenter of each topic are Charmaine Tolentino, Regelin Acosta, Reynald J. Saluya, Jessa De Leon, Leo Puno, Judy Andingle, and last, your speaker, Donna May Alcaide.
Regelin Acosta from BTLED 2B. Historical foundation of the curriculum. Curriculum development in the Philippines touch on the religion, economic, political, and social influences and events in the country. Colonial rules in the Philippines tailored the curriculum to severe colonial goals and objectives. You have to examine the nature or system of the curriculum in the Philippines under the different periods as follows. Number 1. Pre-Spanish period. Pre-Spanish curriculum. Informal education through interaction with other people. No direct teaching, no formal method of instruction. Unplanned and unsystematic learning. Education is for survival, conformity, and enculturation. There was no formal education during this period. Parents are the teachers. One of the purposes of education during their time was for survival. Their father teach their son to hunt animals, fishing, agriculture, and other economic activities. Spanish devised curriculum consisted of the 3 R's: reading, writing, religion. Goals: acceptance of Catholicism, acceptance of Spanish rule. Schools, parochial or convent schools upgraded. Curriculum organization, subject-based organization. Reading materials, cartilla, caton, catecismo. Method of instruction, dictation, and individual memorization. Curricular aims: to teach young boys and girls to serve and love God, discover what is good and proper for oneself, enable an individual to get along well with society. The Spanish created curriculum. The Spanish missionaries seek to total control over the Filipinos, both body and soul. The curriculum then consisted of the 3 R's: reading, writing, and religion to achieve goals such as acceptance of Catholicism and acceptance of Spanish rule. American period, creation of public school system to train Filipinos after the American way of life or to teach democracy as a way of life. American devised curriculum. Based on the ideals and traditions of America and her hierarchy of values. Reading materials were about American history, development, discoveries, and people. Medium of instruction, English. Primary curriculum consisted of 3 grades which provided body training and mental training. Intermediate curriculum consisted of subjects such as arithmetic, geography, science, and English. Collegiate levels included a teacher's training curriculum appropriate for elementary mentors to replace the Thomasites. Curriculum organization, separate subject. The American devised curriculum was dominated by the goal of not only physically but also intellectually conquering the Filipinos. Until 1935, the public school system was established and led by an American with the goal of educating Filipinos in the American culture and a way of life. The curriculum during the Commonwealth. Period of expansion and reform in the Philippine curriculum. Courses in farming, trade, business, domestic science. The curriculum for the training of elementary teachers was expanded and elevated by the Bureau of Education from the secondary normal schools to the collegiate level. Commonwealth Act 586, also known as Educational Act of 1940, recognized the elementary school system. The collegiate normal schools 1939, 2 years training beyond high school. Eliminated grade 7 and providing for the double single session. The Japanese devised curriculum included Nihongo in the curriculum, abolished English as the medium of instruction and as a subject. All textbooks were censored and revised. Training was done formally through school with emphasis on vocational, technical, agriculture. The Japanese devised curriculum, curricular content centered on values rooted for the love of labor, teaching physical education, and singing Japanese songs.
Charmaine P. Antonio, curriculum during the Liberation period, restoration of grade 7, abolishment of the double single session, curriculum was developed and based on the characteristics and needs of the Filipino children. Curriculum was still subject-centered, promotion of equal educational opportunities for all, curricular content stress, social orientation, example, conservation of the Filipino heritage, training for occupation, promotion of democratic nation building, and new trust on community development. During the actual battles for liberation, formal education experienced total disruption as peace replaced the fighting. The Department of Education functions once more, taking up the old curriculum. The curriculum during the Philippine Republic. Great experiments in the community school idea and the use of vernacular in the first 2 grades of the primary schools as the medium of instruction. Schools are increasingly using instructional materials that are Philippine-oriented. Max P. De Leon, 2018. The aim of education is for national development, made education relevant to the needs of the changing world or the new society. Educational Development Decree of 1972 by President Marcos. The curriculum during the new society. Curricular changes in the elementary education focus on the 3 R's, integration of values in all learning areas, emphasis on mastery learning, curricular changes in the secondary education, increase in time allotment, YDT and CAT introduced as new courses, elective offerings as part of the curriculum, curricular emphasis are moral values, proper methods of teaching, retaining of teachers, vocational and technical education, bilingualism, national consciousness, cultural value. Present 1986 present. Text Order Number 6, Section 1988, Issues by Education, Sec. Isambing, strengthens the teaching of values in the elementary school curriculum. NESE, launched in school year 1989 to 1990 under the Program for Decentralized Educational Development. PRODED and Secondary Educational Development Program, SEDP, educational aim to promote national development and values education. Don Adams, 2002, implementation of NESE addressed to civic, intellectual, and character development of the child. Implementation of RBEC, implementation of the K-12 curriculum. Of all foreign educational systems, the American educational system has the great influence on our educational system. The following 6 curriculum theorists contribute their views on curriculum. Franklin Babi, 1876 to 1956, presented curriculum as a science that emphasized students' needs. Weret Charters, 1875 to 1952, considered curriculum also a science based on students' need and the teachers plan the activities. William Kilpatrick, 1871 to 1965, view curriculum as purposeful activities which are child-centered. Harold Drag, 1886 to 1960, emphasized social studies in the curriculum and the teacher plans the lesson in advance. Hollis Caswell, 1901 to 1989, sees curriculum as organized around social functions of teams, organized knowledge and learners' interests. Ralph Tyler, 1902 to 1994, believes that curriculum is a science and an extension of the school's philosophy based on the students' needs and interests. Historical development demonstrates the numerous shifts in curriculum goals, values, and content.
I am Reynald J.F. Saluya. For today's video, I will discuss the philosophical foundation of the curriculum. Philosophical foundation of the curriculum helps determine the driving purpose of educations and the roles of the various participants. Philosophies varies in the perception of truth, ranging from absolute to relative and from moralistic to scientific. As we look through history, we see philosophies have gained and wanted to popularity in society, and how even psychological research is embraced, ignored, or even rejected based on the philosophical standing of the time. Philosophy of education lays the solid framework for every curriculum. a curriculum manager or experts, implementer or teachers, head of school, evaluator supports a clear theory in his or her decision-making method. And now let's move on to the aims, role, focuses, and trends of educational philosophy. Aim of education in perennialism is to educate the rational person and to cultivate the intellect. Essentialism, to promote the intellectual growth of the individual and educate a competent person. Progressivism, to promote democratic and social being. Reconstructionism, to improve and reconstruct society and education for change. Roles of education in perennialism, teachers help students think with reason. Essentialism, teacher is the sole authority in his or her subject's area or field specialization. Progressivism, knowledge leads to the growth and development of lifelong learners who actively learn by doing. Reconstructionism, teachers act as agents of change and reform in various educational projects, including research. Next one is focus in curriculum. In perennialism, classical subjects literal analysis. Essentialism, essential skills of the 3 Rs. Progressivism, focus on the student's interest, human problems, and affairs. In Reconstructionism, focus on the present and the future trends and national and international interest. Lastly is curriculum trends. In perennialism, use of great books and returns to liberal arts. In essentialism, excellence in education, back to basic and cultural literacy. Progressivism, school reform, relevant and contextualized curriculum, humanistic educations. And constructionism, equality of educational opportunities and education, access to global education.
I am Jessa Andaleon. Now, let's proceed to our next topic. C. Psychological foundations of the curriculum. Psychology provides a basic for the teaching and learning process. You, as a learners, are not machines, and your mind is not a computer. As individuals, you are affected by biological and the culture to which you are exposed. It would be the best to consider psychology in the learning and developing the curriculum to ensure that you can achieve more advanced, more comprehensive, and complete human understanding. The following are the 3 major groups of the theories that help shape in crafting the curriculum. Number 1, behaviorist psychology or behaviorism, based on the idea that all behavior are acquired through conditioning through your interact with the environment. Learning is organized so that you can experience success in the process of mastering the subject matter. Method of teaching is introduced in a step-by-step manner with proper sequence of the task. Proponents: Edward Thorndike, Ralph Tyler, Hilda Taba, Robert Gagne. Number 2, cognitive psychology. Focus attention on how you as individuals process information and how you monitor and manage thinking. Learning constitutes a logical method for organizing and interpreting your understanding. Bilao 2015. Knowledge is rooted in the traditional of subject matter, where your teacher used many problems and thinking skills in teaching learning. Bilao 2015. These are exemplified by reflective thinking, creative thinking, intuitive thinking, discovery learning, and etc. Bilao 2015. Proponents: Jean Piaget, Howard Gardner, Daniel Goleman. Number 3, humanistic psychology is concerned with how you can develop your human potential, is based on Gestalt psychology. Learning can define in the term of the fullness of the question and where the word is involving. As a learner, you will recognize your expectations continuously. The program concerned the process, not the goods, the personal needs, not the subject matter, the psychological sense, and the environmental circumstance in which you are exposed. Proponents: Gestalts, Abraham Maslow, Carl Rogers.
I am here to present the social foundation. In here, we have to realize schools exist within the social context and societal cultures affects and shapes schools and their curricula. Therefore, understanding social foundation is important so that curriculum in school itself can work well in the society they belong. Like in our school, the NEST, we have the core values which is the nationalism, excellence, unity, spirituality, and transparency. The school have this because they want to help and develop social interaction that the student must be able to experience. When we are talking about the social foundation, it is within the social context on what could be developed by the learner about the different topics of their learning. We define culture as a way of life. Culture can be learned and culture can be shared. The relationship of curriculum in society is mutual. The curricula should reflect and preserve the culture of society and its aspirations. At the same time, society should also imbibe the changes brought by the formal institution called schools. Well, according to educational, curriculum is organized so that it may help in achievement of social aims, and the social progress of society and nations depend upon the curriculum in the school and colleges. Due to this, it is essential to organize the curriculum carefully and properly. It is giving and receiving. The role of the school is providing opportunities for the students, how they develop their interaction in others, applying the multiple intelligence of principles by Howard Gardner. School are there. They want to develop the social aspect of the learners, making them to be able to connect and deal with school system in the society or in others. Education system are closely tied to the institutional network of society. Thus, to understand what is taught, how it is taught, and why it is taught, you need to look at the social forces that shape curriculum. There's a lot of forces that shape curriculum. When designing the curriculum, the following must be addressed. To what extent should curriculum consider the world outside of school? We have the K-12. Philippines embrace the K-12 because they want to be competitive. It is talking about extent, it is the level. With the implementation of K-12, they say that we are globally competitive. How do changes affect curriculum? Well, the society culture affects and shape the school and then the curricula. In considering the social foundation of curriculum, we must recognize that school are the only one of many institutions that educate society and the home and the community. Likewise, educate the people in the society. School are formal institutions that address more complex and interrelated society and the world. Society as ever dynamic is a source of very fast changes which are difficult to cope with and adjust to. Schools are made to help understand these changes in order for the school to be relevant. Now, school curricula should address diversity, explosions of knowledge, school reforms, and education for all. Well, all of us believe that the only permanent is change, right? Everything changes. Now that we are in the midst of the pandemic, the curriculum of co-ed reduced other topics. They are talking about the essential topics that the student need to acquire in this pandemic. Even there are changes in our curriculum, teacher provide the student needs and desired learning. Social foundations of the curriculum is crucial in making decisions about what should be included in the curriculum and eventually what happens in the classroom. The main focus on this one is the social interaction of student from themselves and the student with the teacher. The school curriculum and the teacher planning and development, they try to reduce the content of the topics. A curriculum be able to prepare you for the present and the future. In other words, a curriculum should address your wants and needs by responding to social conditions locally, nationally, and globally. In our NEST, it's talking about how well the student will become. It's stated that transforming communities through science and technology. In 2015, the K-12 was implemented. The purpose of this is to make our country responsive to the wants and needs of everyone. So here are the social foundation content that is useful. A content is useful if it relates to the general body of knowledge needed by an average human being for conducting daily lives. It is talking about the capability to adapt the challenge of the curriculum and applying it in our daily lives, like reading and writing. When it is related to the specific present or future situations, of the students. It is the target for their student. Like to be a journalist, one needs good language skills. We, the BTLE student, we are studying because we want to become a future teacher. It is the preparation in our future life. If it develops the skills that increases the student's success in other subject areas or in general life decisions. In this, the teacher integrating the subject like geography develops spatial thinking and arts develop design skills. If it fulfills unavoidable requirements imposed by society as entry qualifications to certain vocational and professional program. There are standards that need to attain in every subject area like mathematics as a requirement for technical jobs. And in our program BTLE, we must equip the knowledge in baking or cooking. We must be master all the kinds of trades.
I am Donna May Alcaide, so now we are proceed to characteristic of a good curriculum. The effectiveness of the development of a curriculum determine the quality of the curriculum itself. According to Stavak Philip, UNESCO 2015, the following should be the characteristic of a good quality curriculum. Values you as a child and holds that every child matter equally, is comprised of high quality content which is up to date and relevant, suitably demanding, appropriately sequenced and progressive balance integrated, is well organized and structured, clearly documented or comprises a number of interrelated components, expressed in consistent and coherent documents, and is underpinned by a set of theoretical and philosophical beliefs about how children learned.
In the article of IOSR Journal of Nursing and Health Science, identify the following characteristic of a good curriculum. Number 1, the curriculum is continuously evolving. Number 2, the curriculum is based on needs of the people. Number 3, the curriculum is democratically conceived. Number 4, the curriculum is the result of long-term effort. Number 5, the curriculum is a complex of details. Number 6, the curriculum provides of the logical sequence of subject matter. Number 7, the curriculum complements and cooperates with other programs of the community. Number 8, quality education comes through the situation of individuals and intellectual and creative capacities of social welfare and development. And last, the curriculum has administrative flexibility.
So, thank you for watching. We hope that you learned and picked some knowledge that will help you as a future educator. In our presentation, keep safe.